Shut up and sit down.
Yo people, and welcome back to another hardware review, and we are back with Innokin. This time we're taking a look at the Senesis pod mod. Yes, find the F. Now I know what you're all thinking, it's another pod mod, but this pod mod has got a little bit of a difference, and you might want to stick around to have a little bit of a look. It's got 4th generation vaping technology. It's some really interesting bits. Not only has it got a 3000 mAh built-in battery, instead of having a plastic pod, we've got a glass pod. And we've got some really interesting features that you want to stick around and have a little look at. That's from Little Bro. So let's get this review on the road. We know how it all goes. This is the box. That's everything you do get in the box. And that was the box. So the Innokin Senesis pod mod. As you can see, it's got that design that's coming more and more common nowadays. Nice bit of leather going on there. And we've got to fit it in, people. It is ergonomical. It does fit really nice in your hand. So let's go top to bottom like we normally do. We'll start off with the pod itself. It's a 510 drip tip. It is interchangeable, so if you've got your own, you can put it on there. It does come with 2 drip tips. So you've got this one for your direct to lung, and they also give you an Alton one for your mouth to lung. That comes in the kit as well. Like I said, it is interchangeable, so if you've got your own, you can put it on there. Really glad to see this. They've made the pod out of glass, so you're going to get a lot better flavour than what you actually do get with plastic. Really glad to see they've made it out of glass. Now, as you can see, we have got that rubber bung in there. So this is the 2mm configuration. If you haven't got that rubber bung in there, it is 3.1mm. Now, it's not Innokin's fault. Obviously, it's a TPD, but I wish they would think about us and make it easy to take this out. Now, when you've got the 0.25 in there, running it at 35 watts, you're forever filling it. It is a bit of a nightmare, but a big plus that they've made it out of glass and not plastic. If we have a little look at the bottom, just tell you that it is Innokin, the Senesis. You've got your 3 little magnets there which hold the pod in. You've got your kite mark, don't vape in a bin. And as you can see, it is bottom fill. Just open your little rubber bung, like so. I've had no problems filling it, no airlocks or anything like that. Once you've done, just push it back in. That's where your coil goes. I'll show you there. It's a push and play, as I call them. You just push it in. I'll show you that in a second. Now, the coils that you get with this, you get pre-installed, the really small coils. You get pre-installed, you get the S coil, so this is compatible with the S coils. The 0.25 Canthal mesh, best between 25 and 35 watts. This has got seaweed fibre cotton in there, and this is for your direct to lung. Show you in the top of there. Now it does have one of them airflow rings, which I say this every time, make sure you don't throw this away when you're changing your coil, because you're going to be then searching through the bin to show you the airflow ring. And that's on both of the coils that you do get. Just screws back on. I'll say that nice and simply on camera. Just screws back on like so. You then get another coil in the kit. There we go. Again, they are so diddy, aren't they? Now this is the Scepter coils. 0.65 ohm Canthal. This is for your mouth to lung, best between 9 and 12 watts. There you go, let you have a little look inside. Very simple to fit. Now just remember, when you do this, drop a bit of e-liquid around there and a little bit in the top, prime your coil, and very simple. You just push it in like so. Make sure it's really down and you are ready to go. So to fit the actual pod in, all you're going to do is push it on, the magnets click in, and that's not going anywhere. I know they did have a little bit of a problem with the first sort of batch, or the reviewer's batch, where it did wobble, but you've got no wobble in there, that's going nowhere. Now included in the kit as well, you do get a 510 adapter, which is really good. It's nice to see that, so it turns it into a mod. And the way this works is you get your tank, screw it onto the tank itself. Make sure you don't cross-thread it. There we go. And then it just pushes on like so. And like I said, that's not going anywhere. Like, they did have a little bit of a problem with it. This is a slide tank that's on there. They did say that they had a bit of a problem with it, but now they've sorted it all out. That's not going anywhere. Banging the table. As you can see, that's not going anywhere. And to get it off, the only thing you've got to do is just pull it like so, and it just comes off. I have found that I have been getting a little bit of condensation around the top of here. I'm not sure if it's juice or if it is condensation, but I have found that I'm getting some. Now, as you'll be able to see, it has got adjustable airflow at the back. You can really dial this in, and you can see how it's working. On the side, you've got your inlets there, and then you can move it, and you can dial that really in for a nice tight mouth to lung. Again, you can see how it fits. That just pushes into there, and then you can adjust your airflow. Have a little look around it. It is made out of zinc alloy. I do like the look of it. I like the finish to it. We've got a bit of leather going on. Well, probably a bit of fake leather. You've got the logo embossed in there, and you've also got some stitching, fake stitching that's embossed in there, and it is a little bit squidgy. Like I did say, it does fit really, really nice in your hand. Now, the actual screen itself is the fire button. You've got your plus and your minus, and you've got your Type-C fast charging. Always nice to see Type-C. If you have a little look at the bottom, you've got your kite mark, don't vape in the bin, and it's got an inbuilt 3000 mAh battery. Yeah, looks pretty good. I like the look of it. So, like I said at the beginning of the review, this is jam-packed with features. It is the 4th generation of vaping technology. That's what they're saying. So your fire button is the screen, and then you've got your plus and your minus. Now, it is Innokin, so it is 3 clicks and 3 clicks off. There you go. You'll be able to see your screen. At the top, you've got wattage. And it will change modes. I will show you in a second. You've then got your battery indicator. You've then got your wattage. Now, the wattage, you have to hold it in, the plus or the minus, and it goes in 5 watt increments. If you do hold it in, it does go faster. It goes all the way up to 40 watts, and then it will round robin to 6 watts. So it is 6 watts to 40 watts, and it is 1 volt to 7.5 volts. There you go. Once you start going, it does go pretty fast. As you can see, you've got your puff counter, how long you ever hold it in for, and it will show you. You've then got your ohms, your voltage, and you've got your puff counter. Now, if you hold in the minus and the fire button, like so, you'll be able to see a little lock icon comes up there. Now, you can still fire it, but you just can't move your wattage. It'll come up and tell you that you've got to unlock it. Again, you just hold that in, and you'll be able to see that it disappears. If you hold in the plus and the fire button together, it comes up with all your information. So it tells you about your battery, it tells you about your ohms, and it tells you about your puff counter. And you can also clear it from here if you wanted to. We're just going to leave it as it is. Now, to get into your menu, you hold the minus and plus together, like so, and it takes you into your menu. Now, just for wattage is just power. So if you do that, press that, you can either have wattage or voltage. We're going to stay in voltage, in wattage, and you'll be able to see it shows it up at the top left. Go back into the menu. You have now got Coil Plus. If we select that, again, we can do it for wattage, and it comes up with the plus. It also changes. I'm not quite sure if you can see it. The other one was like a squiggly line. This one's like a heartbeat line. It just shows you it's there. Now, this Coil Plus is the new technology. So basically, at the end of every draw that you have, it primes the coil, drawing in more juice, reducing carbon buildup on the coil. Runs at 40% of your wattage for 4 seconds. And now that's for better flavour and also to give you a little bit more life in your coil. So once you fire this and take a draw, I will show you this, and we'll explain it a little bit more when we go up top. It basically vibrates the coil. So once you've took a draw, it'll then, after you've finished taking a draw, it'll run it at 40% of the wattage or voltage that you've done, and then it'll suck more juice into there. And I have found that it is a lot better flavour. So as you can see, it'll come up W plus there. So then if we hold the plus and minus in again, it'll bring you in to a refresh. There you go. Now what refresh is all what I've just told you about Coil Plus, and it's basically cleaning your coils. So the first one you can do, it'll run it for 4 seconds. So if you press that, like so, you should be able to hear that. It's actually, you can hear it burning it, well not burning it, it's vibrating it and sucking in more juice. So it's basically cleaning your coil. You've then got an extended one where you actually hold it in yourself. And you can hold that in up to 8 seconds. So you can either do it yourself or it will do it automatically. So that's basically cleaning your coil. It's doing it again, 40% of whatever wattage you're on or voltage. And it's cleaning the coil and drawing the juice in. Great idea. I think it's an absolute corking idea. All the minus and plus in again. Now, there's a lock button. I will show you that in a second. We will come back to that. We've then got your settings. So you've got your screen or the OP screen. If you press that, it'll say minimal or pro. So we was on the pro before. If we press the minimal, what it comes up with then is you've just got the wattage. You've got your little squiggly line, and it tells you how many seconds you've held it in for. So you've got rid of all the voltage and all your ohms and stuff like that. It's just a basic screen. If we hold that in again, you can go back down to settings, press that in, go to that, and on to Pro. Back into the menu, go down to settings again. So you've got your timeout, that's how long the screen will stay on. You've got your cutoff point, so how long you hold it in for a draw. You've got your device ID, so it'll just come up with the actual device's ID. I don't know what that's actually for or who uses that. We'll go back. You've then got reset, so you can reset it to factory settings, and then you can exit. Back to the menu. Now, what you'll be able to see in your when it comes in the packaging is called Find F. So this is where it's got a little bit more technology. Yes, this will come in. Now you can go onto their Facebook page and find the club. Now this, you have to find a code. Yes, we'll talk a little bit more about this up top, but I will show you. Again, if we go back in, get into your menu. Now this will automatically unlock after you've done 6,000 puffs on it. So where the lock is, you'll be able to see it comes up with a code. Now you can join the Facebook group of Innokins and it will give you the code. Or after 6,000 puffs, it will automatically open it. Now I will give you this code, but I won't give it you until later on in the actual review. So stay tuned and I will tell you what the actual code is. So as you can see, I have put the code in. You just press confirm. And then it will load the software for the FO mode. Find F. So again, you can go onto their Facebook page, and I'll explain that a little bit more up top, and I will give you the code. So this is the 4th generation. So look, at the top now, you've got rid of your lock icon, and it now comes at the top. Just press that. Now what this basically is, it's AC, so this alternating current. So this makes it vibrate. Now you can change the different, well, if we go back to it. There we go, 2 seconds, press that. So what you'll be able to see at the bottom, you can change the hertz to it. Now, the thought on this one is it extends coil life, it smooths the heat transfer, and it enhances different flavors. So on their on the actual Facebook page, there's going to be people that are going to say, custards taste better at 100 or fruits taste better at 50, and you can move that all the way around. It does say in the booklet that I showed you difference for mouth to lung and direct to lung, so you can basically go through all these and change them and dial them in. Now they've done it so you can play with it, and basically what it does is it vibrates the coil, so different hertz will give you different flavors. Also, like I said, it extends the coil life, smooth the heat transfer, and enhances different flavors. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to set that at 50. That's where I've been having it. There we go. And then you select it. And once you've selected it, you'll be able to see at the top, instead of wattage or your coil plus, your wattage plus, it comes up with FO at the top. So, like I said, there is quite a lot on this, and it isn't just what it looks like. So, and I've been really enjoying using it. So I'll tell you what, let's go back up top, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, and I'll give you that code. So that was a look around the Senesis from Innokin. I told you it was a little bit interesting. Now, if you just look above my shoulder, you'll be able to see all the different colours you can actually get it in. And just to keep you tantalised into the review, I know you're wanting that code, but you can get this for as little as £34. Yes, cheap as chips. Let's go top to bottom like we normally do. We'll start off with the pod itself. You do get 2 drip tips, one for direct to lung and one for mouth to lung, and it is interchangeable. It is a 510. Now, the pod itself as TPD will be 2mm, and if you haven't got the rubber bung in there, it is 3.1. Now, when you've got the 0.25 ohm coil in there and running it at 30 to 35 watts, it's an absolute nightmare because it's 2mm. You're constantly filling it. It's an absolute nightmare. So I would suggest you go and have a little look for the 3.1. Hopefully in the future here in the UK, we're not going to have that rubber bung in there. And I do say about companies, I know they've got to stay on the side of the law, but I would like to be able to see where it's easily took out. Make it a bit easier for us. But yes, with the 0.25 ohm, you're constantly filling it. With the 0.65 mouth to lung, you're not at all. It's obviously 2mm, you'd be fine doing mouth to lung with it. Big plus, it's made out of glass. Yes. So not only are you going to get better flavour, also if you're using any of them juices that do crack plastic tanks, you're not going to have any of that problem. Glass gives you better flavour. It is a bottom fill. I've had no problem with airlocks, but like I did say in the review, I have been getting a little bit of condensation or maybe a bit of juice. I'm not quite sure. Now, what I've got, the coils that you get with this are a 0.25 ohm, and this is the S coils, and it has got seaweed fibre cotton in there. I've said this plenty of times. I'm not quite sure if that makes any difference. Other people says it helps to wick. Now, this is best between 25 and 35 watts. You also get the Scepter coils. You get a 0.65 ohm. That's Canthal as well, and that's best between 9 and 12 watts. That's more for your mouth to lung. So, like I said, we've got the 0.25 in there. Let's give it a vape. Now, we've got it on the Coil Plus. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Coming out at 30 watts, and it's just a little over the 2.5. Let's give it a vape and see what we think. That's really good flavour. I've got the airflow wide open. Just making sure I got it the right way around. Really good flavour from that, and really good clouds. Let's cut that halfway. There you go. Just over halfway. Really nice restricted direct to lung, and it warms that vape up a little bit more as well. Let's go. You've got to leave a little bit of a gap. You can't shut it completely off or you're going to go like that. Yeah. Let's give it a vape. So you could really class that as a mouth to lung, which is that tight. So you can really dial this in. Let's shut it completely off and see if my cheeks do it. Yeah, can't do that. I'll be choking. But you can really dial that airflow in. So that was the 0.25 ohm. And that was the S coil. We're now going to look at the Scepter coil. This is the 0.65. Coming out at 12 watts, we'll just move that down so we don't burn the coil out. Both coils I've really enjoyed using. The flavour from them have been absolutely corking. We've got this at 12 watts with the airflow wide open. I'd still put that into the sort of restricted direct to lung. And then if you bring that down halfway, you're going to get a nice mouth to lung from it. So that's halfway, just over. That's really nice. Like I said, when you've got some Nick salts in there, some, say, 50-50 in there, give it another vape. Really nice mouth to lung. So all in all, there's a couple of cons to the pod. Obviously, with it being a 2mm, I would have maybe liked them to, instead of a 3.1, looking that you were going to go and get maybe a 4mm at least. Love that it's glass. A little bit of condensation from it, but I've had no problems with the filling. You also get a 510 adapter in the kit, which is absolutely fantastic. Fits in really nice. Remember just to connect it to your tank first and then push it in. All the features do work as well with the 510 connector. Your Coil Plus and your refresh and also the FO. And that fits in there really, really nice. Right then, let's get on to the device itself. I do like the look of it. It's made out of zinc alloy. Nice bit of weight. It's not overly weighty. Fits really nicely in your hand. You've got a bit of that fake leather with the FO on there, the logo, and some fake stitching. Nice bit of padding, and I have said it does fit nice and ergonomical in your hand. Built-in 3000 mAh battery. Goes from 6 watts to 40 watts and goes from 1 volt all the way up to 7.5 volts. Type-C charging. Now, the only thing that I've got about this before we get onto the menu is it's got like squeaky plastic. The actual fire button is just a bit like the chroma. And it... Can you hear it? And that, to me, is a little bit of a letdown. The body's really, really nice, but I think they could have worked on that switch a little bit more. But apart from that, I like the way it's built. I like the airflow for it. Like you've seen, you can really, really dial that in. And I like it overall. The whole look of it is really, really nice. So let's get on to the features. And it is feature-packed, as you've seen. So let's talk about this Coil Plus. So basically, for the Coil Plus, what you've got is once you've fired it, now when you've got it in normal wattage mode, you'll not hear this. But once you take a draw, you'll be able to hear it. That afterwards, well, I need to pump the. Else, if I put the wattage back up, I put the 0.2 ohm in there. Put the wattage back up to 30 watts. There we go. Listen. Can you hear that after I've actually took a draw? So what that's doing then, it's going at 40% at whatever your wattage is. It's then priming that coil, it's letting the juice in, and it's sort of vibrating the coil. And what that's doing is, so there's no carbon build-up on it. Now, it does help with flavour, because the coil's already primed up, ready for your next draw. And also, it's giving you longevity on your coils. Now, from wattage mode to wattage plus, or the Coil Plus, I have found a difference in the flavour. I really have found a difference in the flavour. And you can hear it just afterwards. I think that's corking that, because everybody's problem, it's not going to save your coils forever, it's not going to last forever, but we all talk about longevity of coils. How many times have you talked about other companies and God, it's last me a week? I've had this just about 2 weeks, and both coils have been absolutely fantastic. They're still going perfectly fine, really good flavour. You've also got the refresh mode, so you can have that in auto, so you'll press it, and you'll be able to hear it, if I don't turn it off, that is. Put that in, we'll put it into refresh mode. And you'll be able to hear this. So if you press it on auto, it'll fire for 4 seconds. And what this is basically doing is giving your coil a bit of a refresh. It's not going to pull it back from the dead if you've burnt it out, but if you're starting to lose flavour, it's going to give you a refresh. So what I'm going to do is, I should have done that before I started talking. There we go, refresh, press it, and we'll press it on auto, and you should be able to hear this. So that's cleaning your coil. You can also do it yourself, and that's for 4 seconds. You can also do it yourself, which is the extended, and you can hold that in for 8 seconds. Now, they do say don't be doing it all the time. Only do it a couple of times, not like in a day. Don't do it like over-accessioned onto it, because it won't work. Then we've got the FQ mode. And this is the hidden feature. So you do, like I showed you, you do get this little pamphlet. And it tells you all about it and where the code is. And on the back, there is a QR code. So if you go to Facebook and find Innokin, find the F, you can join the group and it will tell you the code. Also in there, and in fact, we'll give you that code now. And I should be able to put it down at the bottom. So it is plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, and fire, and then confirm, and then that will open it up for you. That is in the group as well, but I'll just put it down at the bottom. So that is plus, minus, fire. It's like we're having a go on the old SNES, you know, when you had to do it to unlock things. And that opens up your FO mode. Now that's AC, that's alternating current, and that works in hertz. Now what they're saying for that is it extends the coil life, smoother heat transfer, and enhances the flavour. Now they're saying that if you go from say 50 hertz to 100 hertz, that's more for your mouth to lung. And if you go to 20 hertz to 50 hertz, that's more for your restricted direct to lung and direct to lung. Now what the whole thought about this process is that when you do go onto the Facebook page, there's going to be other people saying, well look, at 100 it works better for custards, or 150, these are just examples, works better for fruits. So there's going to be people, so you can have a little bit of a mess around and see what it's like. So you've got all the Coil Plus and the refresh all into that, and also you can dial it in. Now this will open up after 6,000 puffs, or you can find the code. Well, I've just given you the code so you can put it in there. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It is something a little bit different. I use this more on Coil Plus, but obviously you've got the FO mode on there. Go and have a bit of a play with it. And like I said, £34. Overall, apart from a couple of things, obviously, with the size of the tank and that little bit of a squeakiness on the fire button, and you are getting a bit of condensation from it as well. Apart from that, I'm really loving this device. The coils are really good. I'm loving the S coils and also the Scepter coils. 30 watts. Really, really good flavour and really good clouds. Big thumbs up as well for putting in a 510 connector, and it does work. It's one of them connectors where it's not wobbly. You can stick your own tank on there. Obviously it goes up to 40 watts, so you'll be looking more for your mouth to lung. It's got quite a nice big battery in there, 3000 mAh. Yeah, big thumbs up. Big shout out to Innokin for sending this out for review. You know how to go. If you've enjoyed this review, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. The subscribe button's in the corner. Give it a little press and give us that new magic number. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go and hit me up. And if you'd like to support the channel, link down below to my Patreon. Like all them wonderful people at the front, you got your name up in lights and loads of extra reviews and videos. There we go. One last thing to say, people. Keep them juices flowing. Don't forget to check out my latest video. Also, don't forget to check out 3 Men and a Vape Show live at 8 PM every Wednesday. And also, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell, and we'll catch you later.